Hi, Chris. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing today, Dominic?
I'm very good, thanks. Tell me, none of the band members are struck with the coronavirus, eh?
No. Everyone is doing very well. They're healthy, and everyone's actually just writing music. They're struck with inspiration, if anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about the band a little bit. Who are you?
I am. People don't know. I am the lead guitarist and the lead singer of Follow the Lemming. We are a local Toronto and Vaughan band that plays primarily alternative and some pop rock. Pretty chill and like nostalgic music, kind of a lot of nuances to the 2000s. And the band kind of consists of myself, my drummer, or the drummer Joey DiPinto, fantastic drummer. On bass, we have Vince Pileggi. He is an incredible bassist as well, very melodic in his playing. And we have the ringer, Victor Biriukov, and he is quite the guitarist. Like, I must say, there's things I learn from him sometimes, and there's things he learns from me. So we are friends first, and we are bandmates second. And we just love to play music together. And things have been going pretty well for us lately.
When did you guys start?
Follow the Lemming kind of started off actually on my own. I was it was kind of an alias for myself, and I was playing some shows in and around the area at coffee shops, just some local singer-songwriter type things. And last summer, so probably over a year ago at this point now, I had the ideation of, like, I just wanted to share this with people. I met up with Victor. We kind of met through I guess like an online system called Bandmix. I don't know if people have used it before. I reached out to him. I realized he had similar tastes in music than I did. And when we met up, it was weird. If he would play something, I would mirror him, but it was a question and response type thing. So we just naturally got along. We had a few conversations, and we're looking to book some more stuff. And then we started talking about finding the rest of us and getting Follow the Lemming to become less of an alias, but a band. And that is what it is now, and that was the entire intention. Basically, once we ran into Vince, I ran into Vince through a family friend of mine, and I was just talking about music just by chance. It's probably like a few weeks after I met Victor, and he was like, "Oh, I actually play bass," and I was like, "Oh, I actually play guitar," and he said, "I'm only going to come by if, like, and keep on coming by if we kind of get along when it comes to, like, what it is that we write about." And it just so happened that everything that he was writing, everything he was putting forward in terms of, like, when he came by and was playing with us, and just because we just kind of started just playing. We weren't playing anything specific, like we weren't covering. We were just finding our creativity in the mix, which is kind of like what we do best. And that's when Vince kind of realized he wanted to be a part of it, and we were more than happy because Vince is a fantastic player and melded very well with me and Victor. Last but not least is Joey. We went through, I guess, let's say a test trial of a few drummers. Me and Victor and Vince were doing a few different things in the meantime. So we actually had like some closed off. We're a very like local band, so we have like a lot of like local fans that know us very well on one, and they know us like as people and also as a band that they come and listen to. So we did a few like backyard sets and a few like local sets that weren't at like big bars. So we could do that and achieve that without a drummer, but we knew we needed a drummer. We knew that we were missing that piece. And I was at Cosmo Music, which is a music store in Canada. It's one of the largest, and it's fantastic. I love going there. And I actually ran into an old bass player from a band from back in like the 80s and the 90s that played a lot in Toronto. And he heard me playing guitar and heard me singing, and he was like, "Wow, like you're really good," which I personally don't really think so, but I was very nice to hear that. And he said, like, "My son plays drums if you're looking for a drummer." And I was very shook because we had gone through a few different drummers, and we kind of like connected on that level where he liked what I was playing, and he knew that his son was going to like the music. Joey came by one of the days after we told one of the other drummers that it wasn't really working. His style was a little bit too complex. We were looking for someone that was going to fit that chill and like nostalgic thing. And as soon as Joey started playing, and not even just that, his personality as well, it just seemed to just mesh well with us. And he was very committed. And that was the thing, is that we do this for ourselves and not for any sort of money or any sort of like fame. It's just to do it and to really share experiences with people and touch people and help people out with their emotions and stuff. And we all four of us had that same idea in our heads, and we've been very committed to each other ever since. And that's kind of how the band kind of came to be. Kind of like a piece by piece type thing, but once it came together, it felt like we were playing together for years, because quickly right off the bat, we started writing many, many, many songs, which are now all live on Spotify as well.
And who's the main songwriter?
For the most part, I kind of write a lot of lyrics. So I guess the Sleepless album that's already out on Spotify, that was all written by myself, but that was more from a singer-songwriter perspective. So now that the guys are here and that we work all together, when I'm writing lyrics, so I guess I am responsible for the song writing, but everything is always like I will show Joey the lyrics, and Joey will see if it kind of has like the right rhythmic feel to it as well. And same thing with Vince, and we will, change some words here and there. So we're all involved in the process. And sometimes even actually Vince comes up with some lyrics as well. So Vince is also a part of like that lyrics team with myself, and Joey and Victor are really the confidants when it comes to, we want to make sure that we all, that the whole sounds consistent and sounds together, and that we all agree on what it is that we're trying to talk about in our music. So we're all in the process, but a lot of the initial ideation comes from myself, and then once I bring it into a rehearsal, we kind of take it from there as a team.
And how would you describe your music?
It's a very loaded question. There's a lot you can. I feel like looking at, I don't know if people ever want to check it out and see what I'm talking about on any of the platforms that we have it released on. Many bands that we get recognized similar to, even to start there with Nuances, and then that kind of gives a better idea of who we are. And what our sound is we get recognized a lot with like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We get recognized a lot with early. I mean, like myself being a blues player specifically, and like a songwriter, we get recognized a lot with early John Mayer. We get recognized a lot with a little bit of the 1975 and a little bit mix of Blink-182 sometimes, where we have an alternative energy to us, but the songs have that pop rock feel where it's very easy listening, but it's also incredibly chill, and it's also very nostalgic in terms of the progressions that we come up with and how we go about it. And it has a good rhythmic section to it as well. So if I were to classify it all into one thing, I would say 2000s alternative and pop rock is what I would kind of boil it down to. When it comes to a mood, it's very chill, but it's very emotional music, I would say. But it does have that rock element to it, because when we play live, it's quite fun.
Do you guys work with a record producer?
We do. We don't work with a record label, but we do, and we don't work with a producer. What we do work with is a studio that the owner of the studio actually is someone that taught me how to play drums. So I'm actually a multi-instrumentalist. I play drums. I dabble sometimes in piano as well, and I kind of picked up a lot of these things from my teacher, which his name is Chris Salvaggi, fantastic musician and drummer as well, and fantastic singer. And he runs his own studio close by to actually where I live. And he's been a friend of mine since I was younger. He was always involved in music. I only picked up the guitar and music maybe 3 years ago or so, and it just kind of came to be. And Chris was the person that really helped with that. And so a lot of the music that we've written and we recorded with him through his studio called Savage Studio Recordings. And he's a good part of the process. We don't work with a producer. We don't work with anyone else. It's all done by us and written by us and funded by us. And and Chris is a part of that team to a degree where we use the studio. We obviously pay him, and he likes working with us. He likes being a part of the process. We kind of bother him to a certain degree. So that's kind of like our relationship with how the tracks kind of get put out.
And tell me, what is your most recent track?
The most recent track that we've put out, there's actually been two recent tracks because we haven't released music together since I guess roughly like a year ago or so. So starting off with Still On By, that was just dropped over a week or 2 weeks ago now. Still On By is a very somber and very alternative based song, and it talks about a lot of, I wouldn't say sad issues, but loss, dealing with loss, understanding it, coming to terms with it, knowing who you are during it, that sort of process. And less than a month before we actually released Rest, we wanted to give people the feel of an EP. Rest is kind of like the twin of Still On By, but if the twin was fraternal, so much more of a, not want to say brighter, happier energy, but a more positive, pumping energy. And it is about some topics about taking time for yourself, resting for mental health reasons, and for just kind of understanding who you are in terms of the entire world, actually, and your perspective in it, and who you feel like you are sometimes. And those are both recently released. In ideation that it was supposed to be an EP, but we wanted to kind of give, music industry has now changed a little bit. People like things in small portions. They don't like taking big bites out of things anymore. I find a lot of people that I look up to do similar things like that. They release in small portions. So we decided to release the EP in segments. And we have another song coming up in June 26th, actually, specifically, called Crossroads, which is a fan favorite when we play it. And that is kind of like the mixture of Rest and Still On By. So those are the recent releases that we have coming up.
I sit on my own, no one tells me where to go. I'm lost, never living free, put all that behind me. From freedom thoughts to star-crossed hearts, all that I might know, never see him go, make it on my own. The voices sit in my head, they yell to the void that they want me dead. Cause I ain't dead and I ain't dead, it's leave me to rest. And I want just a little piece of me, oh please. I want something more than this. And I want just a little piece of me, oh please. I want something more than this. Sounds I don't miss, given up time and spoke about this. Walked the walk and talked in parts, tried so hard it is so hard. For missed calls, the long lost loves, all that I might know, never see him go, make it on my own. The voices sit in my head, they yell to the void that they want me dead. Cause I ain't dead and I ain't dead, it's leave me to rest. And I want just a little piece of me, oh please. I want something more than this. And I want just a little piece of me, oh please. I want something more than this.
Hey, tell me, Chris, where can we purchase your music?
The music is purchasable on iTunes, but specifically you can stream it as well on Spotify and Apple Music. We prefer to keep it on platforms that are easy to engage listeners in for our own members and to understand what people are really responding to and what they're not. This is all self-managed as well. And so those are the two spaces you can actually go listen to it on. Or if you guys want to also purchase it, it's on iTunes, which is always great.
And do you have an official website?
We don't have an official website. We find that for the most part, a lot of our business transactions and stuff just end up going through the Instagram as well. We have a lot of face-to-face conversations. Again, we are a very local band in terms of what it is that we do and our connections and our contacts. So a lot of it is emailing on our own to venues or to other acts that we are supporting and are playing with or asking to play with us. And we find that it just like to limit the amount of clicks, as a side note, to limit the amount of clicks that people have to make to come view the music or to learn about us. It makes it much easier for people to get a feel for us. And we've put a lot of work into our Instagram to kind of make it brief. And also, if you want to go deeper into it, you can actually learn a lot about us actually right off there. Because society nowadays is just a little bit more into having things just in bite size, we find, as a team. But we are looking into a website for future stuff when we are looking to do tours and stuff like that as well. So that'll be something that's coming up, but it's not like, for us, like we just find that it was like kind of more of a thing that would happen in the future as kind of success kind of came slowly throughout.
Hey, I'm a little curious. How do you manage rehearsal nowadays?
With the coronavirus, it's a little bit difficult. So we have not been rehearsing. Everyone knows their parts. We play these songs in our sleep, I think, at this point. So we have been up and writing as well. So everyone is rehearsing on their instruments. We have not been able to meet up, and nor should we meet up because it is not the appropriate thing to do at this time. Music is important, but also what is happening right now is something that is affecting everyone's lives. So we have put that off for now. We had a show coming up actually, but we had to postpone that as well. So not to anyone's, disregard, like no one was upset about that. It was obviously understood. For myself specifically, talking from my own experiences, I've actually been doing daily shows actually for my community outside on my porch, on my front lawn, and my front porch. I have a small speaker set up and a small amp, and just running through what I would run at a regular show. Singing our songs, singing some covers, and that's how I've been keeping up with my vocal practice and also my guitar practice as well. And I've also taken the time to pick up some new music as well in terms of learn some covers, maybe some new technique, and all the guys are doing the same thing. Joey is constantly working on his drum work as well, and also same thing with Vince, and Vince is also writing a lot at the moment as well as I am. And Victor is keeping up on top of his technique as well, and also writing as well. So we kind of don't treat it as rehearsal at the moment. We're treating it as let's take time to grow us as a team individually. And then when we come together, it's going to be quite the combination, I would say. Usually when we have time to ourselves, we end up writing some pretty great songs.
You said you're a local band, right? Based in Toronto. But do you plan on touring? After the virus, obviously. But do you plan on touring? I don't know, across Canada or USA?
Yes, we are planning on touring. We've had a few talks with a few local bands as well about it, and we've also during the release of our music, a lot of bands from around either Hamilton or Barrie or even from Toronto itself as well have reached out and are looking to do stuff in the future, and we are more inclined to it now that we've realized how impactful our music is even on ourselves. Like we've definitely turned to it in this time, and we've also noticed quite a large amount of people that are really resonating with the lyrics and resonating with our music and just absolutely loving it. And so we are more, and from different areas as well. It's not just our local immediate scene. We've had people in Hong Kong listening as well, which is quite nuts to think about it. And so we are looking to tour probably close by maybe as far as Ottawa and possibly the US. You have to see about that. But we want to keep it as concise as possible, and in a good amount of time frame, and proper venues, and also in the right time frame as well, where things are all opened up at that point, because we don't want to be spreading anything or causing anything like that. That's not on our agenda.
Hey, thank you, Chris. It was great talking to you today. I wish you best
Oh,
luck,
no worries.
and keep on rocking, guys. I mean, you do a great job.
Oh, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that.